If you're anything like me, then you can spend hours a day scrolling through Auto Trader, eBay, Copart, looking for that next daily driver, looking for that next project car. Now, Copart Newbury have said I don't need to do that today. They've been kind enough to invite me down to have a look around the crash cars. Now, I've selected a couple of cars that I want to look at. One of them is quite nostalgic because I used to own this car 12 years ago and it's quite a rare car. And the other one, I've always been looking at these for about 7-8 years, ever since they really came out. So let's go down to Newbury, check out the cars, and also you're going to want to watch to the end.
Now I want to bring your attention onto this Range Rover SVR. There's some interesting information about it. This car has sat here. So this, again, similar to the BMW, is stolen, recovered, but they cannot identify this car at all. So it's been here, I've just spoken to the yard manager, it's been here for 6 months already, and they just cannot identify it because the chassis numbers. Now I don't know if I can get in it. This is a really cool matte paint, and it's actually it looks like a factory paint because all in the inside of the door shuts are also matte as well. You can see quite a lot of mould down there. Interior is really nice. Oh, it's a facelift one as well, so it's a fairly, is it a facelift? Yeah, it is. So it's a fairly new Range Rover, this as well. Now I wonder if I can get under the bonnet. To be fair, this looks cool. I'm not sure if I'd have an SVR or any car in a matte colour, especially as a factory option, but it does look cool nonetheless. How do you open the bonnet? Oh bloody hell, it's the other side. Alright, let's have a look. So I'm guessing this is quite a well-spec'd car, because if you're going to spend probably, I don't know, 5-7 grand on matte paint from the factory, you're probably going to spec everything else as well. But where would the chassis numbers be on this? Something looks like there was there. Yeah, I don't know where they'd be to rub them off, if I'm honest. I don't know where I'm looking. Should probably done a bit of research. We've also got the one on the windscreen which is completely missing, but there will be a chassis one somewhere as well. I'm just trying to Google, see where it is. There's a plate down here as well, which again has been removed, so we can't see the chassis number there, but there must be one on the chassis somewhere as well. But I'm trying to find it. Yeah, so I can't actually find out where the chassis is on the chassis itself, but wherever it is, I'm sure it's etched away. It has to be etched off, which is why they can't identify it. So anyway, I was saying, yeah, this car has sat here for at least 6 months already, and because they just cannot identify it, they cannot sell it. So this car may even be sitting here for another year, maybe even another 2 years before they can sell it. Because if it's got no identification, how are you meant to sell it? I thought that was just really interesting. Like, there's a few of these cars here that have been here for ages because they're stolen, recovered, but because the chassis numbers have been rubbed off, there's just no way of knowing what the car is, where it came from, and because of that, they just cannot sell them. So if they can never find the chassis number out for that, what's going to happen to it? Crushed? Don't know. A nice Aston Martin here as well. I'm assuming this is also stolen, recovered, because I think this is just that high valued lot. There's another SVR over there, but I think that's sold, so we can't film that. Another Mustang note with a side impact, which is quite rare. And here it is, the Mark II Ford Focus RS. Now, this car is very nostalgic for me because I actually had one when they first came out. It was 2010 mine was, so I'd have been quite a bit younger. Spent all my money on this Focus RS when I bought it. I'll put a picture up now if I've got one still. But yeah, it was yeah, as I said, there's a 60 plate. It was an X demo. It done like 2,000 miles, and I remember paying £21,000 for it because that is the most I'd ever spent on a car. And looking back, or looking forward, looking whatever way you want, that car is still worth 21 grand today. They haven't actually ever depreciated. And it's, I mean, I was an idiot. I traded mine in for about 19 grand to a Volkswagen dealership. Obviously not knowing, not having a clue how much that'd be worth 10 years later or retain any value, but it's just mad how they've retained value. So this car is probably worth, I mean, this one not in particular, but if this was a non-crashed straight car, this would still be 19, 20 odd thousand pounds, which is insane to think 10 years later has just lost no money. But let's just go over this one. It's weird how old it looks now. Like when I got mine, obviously it was 6 months old, and I haven't been in one or driven one since. And just looking inside, like how dated the interior is now. So yeah, we've got the very noticeable Recaro bucket seats, which was an option on the RS, I'm not sure. I think mine didn't have full leather, I think it was half suede or Alcantara. But nonetheless, yeah, we have the bucket seats, very nice. But this one is actually up for auction now. I'll put the listing up if I've still got it, but this is a Cat N, which is probably about right. It doesn't look too bad, the damage, but we're just looking around it. Obviously got the headlight gone, and we can see this is been modified because I think that's an AirTech intercooler, so it's got some sort of mods on it. Just lift up the bonnet if I can. Can we see there? Look, yeah, we've got an AirTech. I don't know if that's an inlet manifold or just a cover. We've got an induction kit. But yeah, the engine looks it just looks very old now, doesn't it? But just mad that these things are still fetching 20-odd thousand pounds. Now, I think this one is completely flat, but I will get a jump pack on it in a minute just to see if it starts. On the auction listing, it doesn't actually show a mileage, so I have no clue what this mileage is. It could be 20k, it could be 100k, but judging by the look of it, I'm going to guess it's probably in between, maybe, I don't know, maybe 70 odd k-ish, I'm going to guess. But yeah, looking around, it's not too bad, the damage. Wing, bonnet, bumper. I don't know how easy parts are to get for RS's. And yeah, we've got a wing. Again, looking behind the sill, we've got a little bit of damage there, but it doesn't actually look too bad. That might be all right, to be fair. Wheel's in a bit of a pickle though, look. Completely split on the inside. So looking at the pictures, you would think that wheel's okay. But having a very quick look, it is not okay. So we've got some damage down the side. Offside rear quarter, yeah, that should be just about repairable, not too bad. And we've definitely got an aftermarket exhaust as well. I mean, my hands are quite big, and yeah, they fit in just about without touching the sides. Whee. So we've also got, this exhaust is hanging low, so that would indicate some sort of damage. So we've got some lowering springs as well. Look, this yellow is not factory. I don't know if this is just hanging low for any particular reason. Yeah, you can see some damage actually, look, in the middle there. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but one of the heat shields is bent down quite a bit, so I don't know what kind of damage we've got underneath as well. Don't know if we'll be able to look in the boot. Yeah, battery's flat. Near side looks alright though. Don't look too bad. Got a nice cliff-lid lamp, or it did have. Whether it still does, I don't know. But one of the things I did want to highlight is lot numbers. Now, at the end of the lot number, you get letters, and these letters designate where the car is originating from, so the seller basically. And this car here is actually a C, which just means it's a private entry, so someone's contacted Copart, said, can you sell the car on my behalf? And that is what the C means. I think you can also get P. I'm going to double check on these, just to make sure I've got it right, but I think P is insurance, X is insurance, E is insurance, and I think they just designate different types of insurance companies. And I think a Q is also a private entry, but I think Copart buy the car off you to sell. So there are a lot of different ones. I will confirm this before I put the video out, and if I'm wrong, I shall put it up on the screen. But yeah, it's just quite a bit of interesting information regarding the lot numbers.
It's got a dodgy alarm fitted to it.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that. It's a Clifford on the side.
Oh, so it probably won't start straight away.
There we go. Nice.
This is what it did earlier. So God knows. Then all of a sudden it went.
Just keep pressing buttons until it starts.
Yeah.
Will it just eventually pop up key?
Yeah. It says key not detected, and then all of a sudden I was in the rows doing it. I was like, oh no, what's going on?
So we finally got it running. I'm not sure if it's really worth the wait now. All I know is it runs nicely. It literally took about 25 minutes to get this running. But yeah, I don't know what power this is running. I imagine it's, I mean, these are 300 horsepower standard. This has got an exhaust, got an intake, got an intercooler at least, so maybe around, well, anything over 400 really. I don't really know the stages of tune. I know these go up to like 550 quite comfortably, but I think I did see the mileage, if I can remember how to do it. Where is it? Is it going to? Oh, to be fair, it did say miles, 84,000, but now it's come up with dash. But it's 84,000 miles anyway. So this car's actually been through. Let's just have a look around the front. I mean, the engine seems to run quite nice, to be fair. Coolant's good. Sounds alright. I don't know if I'm supposed to rev it, but I'll give it a little bit of a rev. I won't rev a bit too much, probably get in trouble. But no, it's nice. This is very nostalgic. Oh, smells like a Focus as well. Yeah, steering's a bit hard, that's gone. Obviously we know the bloody offside front wheel's knackered, isn't it? God, this is bringing back a lot of memories to my one. Good times, great car. But what's interesting about this car is it's been through the auction. I think it's on its 3rd time round now. Now I've been watching this, it's been in my watch list for, yeah, about three or 4 weeks. And I haven't actually watched it, because I wasn't going to bid on it. I haven't actually watched what it's gone for each time, but I'm assuming it hasn't just met the seller's reserve. I can't think of any other reason why it hasn't gone. It runs nice, just it looks superficial, the damage. So it works, so maybe it just hasn't met the seller's reserve. But no, that is the Focus RS, guys. Now, for those of you who've been a subscriber to my channel for a while, you'll know that I did a 718 Cayman GTS around about a year ago. Now, this is actually older. This is the older pre-generation to the 718, but obviously this is a GT4, so it's much better. So we're gonna take a look around this today, and yeah, we'll find everything we can see wrong with it that you may not see from the pictures. We'll start with the front because I don't think there's actually much wrong with the front.
Now, I'm just going to pause the video there for a second because there is something major I missed on this car when walking around that's going to cost thousands to put right. See if you can spot it and let me know in the comments.
No, I can't really see much wrong with the front. Obviously we've got the bonnet open, and that is purely to gain access to the battery, because from the 718 it's actually quite similar. The battery is yeah, it's under there, and to get into the front bonnet you need power because it can only be operated, I believe, with a battery pack. They're an absolute pain in the arse, Porsches. But going around to the near side front, we have some scuffing here, some scraping here, and the main bit of damage, which I don't know whether can be repaired or not. I don't know if this is just a plastic insert which can be repaired. Hopefully you don't need a whole new front bumper just to replace that, because I can imagine that GT bumper is not going to be cheap. So we've got our main damage down the near side, minor damage on the near side front, and it carries on down to the rear where we've got the main bit of damage. But I wonder if this was done on track, because obviously GT car, Porsche, usually a track focused car. So it'd be interesting to see if we can work out, actually, I mean, if that's not a giveaway, I don't know what is. Now on tracks, I know a lot of tracks, they have runoff areas which are usually stones because they can slow you down quite a lot. And we have quite a lot of stones in our subframe here. So my guess straight away is this has been done on track. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. So I don't know what they've hit. Maybe a barrier, central reservation. I'm gonna go with barrier probably. But yeah, we've got quite a lot of damage. I mean, that is one big hit, isn't it, to this near side rear. Now looking up in here, we've obviously got a strut flapping in the wind here, look. Exhaust has been completely squashed against the chassis. Whether this has been pushed back, I don't know. It's really hard to tell from here. But what we can see is this rear quarter here, right under here, has been pushed right back inwards. Now, without obviously taking the bumper off and having a look at the offside rear, we don't know how much it's pushed in or how badly, but you can see it's quite bad. So this is quite a big bit of damage, isn't it? I mean, you would hope that it's just snapped off here, which means the impact hasn't gone further back and into the subframe. I mean, a snap's usually a good indication. It's when things bend and usually impact like subframes further back, that's when there's usually a problem. So the fact that it's snapped could actually be a good sign. So that's looking bad, isn't it? Absolutely wrecked. So whether the fact that the damage is really localized to one area, that might be a good thing cost-wise, but yeah, looking around the car, I mean, you can see where the impact of the damage has, like, although it looks fine here, it's not. You've got a bit of damage here, which I'm not sure if it's something like the crash bar has been pushed upwards into the inside of the bumper. You can see where the bumper's pushed into the headlight here, look. You can also see the bumper's pushed up here, so we've got some misalignment problems here. Your boot lid isn't straight, so if you can see it overlaps on the panel, so that would probably indicate that our boot is also twisted. I mean, all that doesn't look too bad, but I have found one bit of damage which would be concerning, and I would say is quite major, and that is this crease here, look. So that is a bad sign, because that means obviously the damage is pushed up here and it's literally just like forced its way through this panel and it's just creased, as you can see right here, which is why our boot tailgate is off an alignment. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, you can see, look. So obviously massive gap here, really small gap, or no gap at the, it's actually hit the roof at the top right here. So our alignment for the boot may have just twisted at the bottom. So it's literally just gone like that. I mean, it would make perfect sense, look, because we have damage there. So looking at that, it may not be a bad fix, but yeah, this is definitely an issue, and that's going to be an expensive issue as well. So just looking down our door, I mean, this is what you want to do, like looking over the car, you want to just look at all the lines, all the shuts. It will give you a really good indication of what's twisted and what's not. So actually, all this looks absolutely fine. I'm sure that will push in, that'll be fine. I mean, it's obviously broken a little bit there, but all these lines actually look okay. I think the door opens and shuts really nice. So all the lines looking good on the near side. So I think that's just anything from sort of here onwards just looks cosmetic to me. I mean, the good thing about the Caymans are they're not rear engine, they're mid engine. So you'd like to think that the engine hasn't really been impacted. But if we go down the offside front, I think all the other wheels are right. We've got ceramic brakes, and they're quite big actually. For a rear disc, that is actually really big. But yeah, the offside front is looking good. Again, lines all good. Doors shut nicely. But yeah, I don't think there's any damage down this side. So it's all looking pretty good. So if we just go onto the inside, see what we can find in here. I don't think any airbags have gone off, you know. Now, airbags don't usually go off when it's been rear-ended, unless it's been hit from the side and you've got like a 5-seater car with rear seats, and you'll have curtain airbags in the rear. With obviously this, there's no rear seat, so you won't have any curtain airbags in the rear. You'll just have them possibly in the front. But because it's a rear impact, there hasn't been any airbags gone off. So because it hasn't been crashed at the front, no steering wheel airbag, no dash airbags gone off, so that's a major bonus. I'm probably guessing that the seat belts have gone though. Yeah, seat belts have gone. Have they gone on the passenger side as well? Passenger, oh no. Passenger one seems to be all right. So chances are there wasn't a passenger in the car at the time, so it was just a single driver out on track. I think I'd make a good detective, mate. So let's just jump into these really nice bucket seats. Now these are carbon buckets, and I think they're quite expensive. I think I saw one set on eBay for like 11 grand or something stupid. So let's just jump in. Oh. Right. Oh, I'll tell you what. These buckets are, first time sitting in some buckets, and these are very comfortable, if I do say so myself. So, good thing about the GT4 is we have a manual, especially with the 981, we have a manual only gearbox. Oh, it feels very mechanical. Short shifts. Yeah, that feels nice. What we got? Yeah, so it's looking very nice in there. Everything's looking good. Oh, got our cup holders, look. Nice, this is a very nice place to be in here. And luckily, the interior looks pretty much unscathed. I don't know, we've got obviously our fuse board's been tampered with there, I'm not sure why. But, no, this is a very nice place to be. And there doesn't appear to be any damage. Got a nice Alcantara steering wheel. We've also got our GT only door handle pulls as well. No handles on GT cars, all about weight saving. So that's cool. Oh no, there are airbags in the seat, but because there was no passenger, probably didn't go off. So maybe if there was a passenger in the seat, this side airbag would have gone off, and that would have been a whole different ball game when it comes to cost to repair. Right, so that is it for today's video, guys. I hope you did enjoy the walk around at the GT4. Now, at the beginning of this video, I did say that there's some interesting information relating to this GT4 specifically, and that is, I won it.